moved out and about, different location, very self-consciously chosen, not for anything that you can necessarily, well, to reference a historical moment. We're at the end of Rehov Betzalel. The Knesset building is loosely speaking over there, the centre of the city is over there, but behind me is the iconic Pargod Theatre, Music Club and so on. And I wanted to use it really as a backdrop to recount a moment which is, one could argue, has been forgotten in Jerusalem memory, but is remembered not by the mass, only by a small few. And the event happened in the 1940s when the great Egyptian singer, diva, superstar of the time, Kulthum, came to sing. Actually, she didn't really come to sing here. She'd been singing in a different country, in Syria. She was on her way back to Egypt, and she stopped in Jerusalem. It was the time of the British Mandate. And she stopped here, and actually the Pargod then was a public bathhouse. And she stopped and she went to the bath. And the sensation that it caused was remarkable, because also in this area are not lots of lots of Jews from Arabic-speaking countries. And even though Kulthum was nothing if not a pan-Arab nationalist, for whom the idea of Zionism and the Jewish state was absolutely not part of her lexicon, or rather it was, but only as in opposition. But nonetheless, on the cultural level, we have a rich and sophisticated sort of Jewish identity here that straddled both the aspirational Zionist Hebrew-speaking world, but without letting go at all of its Arabic-speaking roots. And the idea that the great Kulthum came through was a magical moment. And actually later on, and I've referenced it in the text if you want to look it up, a street was named after her, in the east of Jerusalem, in Beit Hanina. And the Jerusalem men near Barakat at the opening ceremony, or the unveiling ceremony, with, it's maybe a little bit patronising, but nonetheless, there was a moment there. But the idea that I wanted to really to kind of draw you to now is, if Arabic and Hebrew, or Jewish and the context of where Jews come from is part of our story, to bear in mind that throughout this neighbourhood, both then and now, there are lots of echoes of the Arabic world. Where does that find its place in the diversity of Israel today? So I want to lead you to at least a piece of music that represents it, but to keep at the back of your mind this question: if the Arabic-speaking Israeli element, or the Arabic-speaking element of Israeli Jewish culture is present, is this an Israel that one can engage with comfortably, in a way that is comprehensible? So I want to give you a piece of music which really is as cutting edge as we could go, a new group, or a group that's been around for a number of years but have really only been made famous in the last few years, called Iwa, and their YouTube clip has gone viral, and I invite you to watch it, and when you watch it, to be very, very conscious of, I'm watching a self-consciously super Israeli piece of culture. What does it do for you? Do you recognize it? What questions does it lead you to ask? What statements does it lead you to make? If you could have a conversation as somebody engaging with Israel, with these three women who are native-born Israelis, grew up in the southern Israeli village or town of Shacharut, what would you be engaging in the conversation about? And if you were to expect them to ask questions of your connection to Israel, what kind of questions would you expect them to ask you? And I suppose the other thing to say is, do you enjoy the culture? And even if you don't recognize it, is there a way, it's very important, is there a way that you can imagine yourself not just saying, oh look how culturally curious, but you may say, wow, there's something here that actually resonates, actually feels connectable with. So enjoy, and then we'll pick up the conversation after you've watched it.